Hey, this is Lou Mangello from WDW Radio, and you're listening to the Five-ish Fangirls podcast. Let's do this.
The tangents of squee continue all the way to episode number 57 of the Five-ish Fangirls podcast. So sorry, San Diego Comic-Con, but your crown has just been taken away because it is Fandom Christmas Disney style. Welcome everyone to this week's. See who's joined us this week.
This is Brittany in Belvedere. This is Chrissy in Salt Lake City.
This is Holly from Wisconsin.
This is Mitch in Kitchener, Ontario.
And this is Rachel in Indianapolis, Indiana. Hello everyone, I'm back from the wilderness. And the dentist. Because that just capped off an amazing weekend going camping, and then I had to go to the dentist. On the plus side, I came home, which makes Chauncey my pop vinyl dealer, apparently. They are now happily sitting on the shelf right above my monitor at work, so I can be at work, and I'll look up, and there's Phil and May looking down at me like, you can do it, keep going, earn that money.
Yay.
Heads. Melinda is very top-heavy. She's got a very tiny especially compared to Phil, but just if you just like hold their heads in your hand, May is significantly heavier. Her hair is just solid. She could be a weapon, which is May in a nutshell, really.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, well, I was at Conestoga Mall earlier this week, and I found a store that's got like this whole section of pop vinyl with like.
Yeah.
They keep coming out with new lines. It's like, dude, stop it.
Yeah, but one of those was the pop vinyl that Sean was mentioning wanting on.
Issue I have. So the adipose that they have is not very cute. It's actually kind of creepy looking. And I'm like, how did you screw up the adipose of all things, pop vinyl?
Doctor Who. I've
got the stress ball that is like adorable. I have it sitting on my bookshelf, and I love that. And then I saw the pop vinyl, and I'm like, yee! No. It's nightmares. So that's the only one that I've seen.
Anyway, we're off on a 3 minutes in. We're off on a tangent. Woohoo! So yeah, we've got. Surprisingly enough, there of main subject related news. There's not a whole lot of news that piled up in the week we were off, which is probably a good thing because we got a crap ton to talk about. With everything else.
Yes. Begin with the news.
Yes, please.
All right.
The news.
Okay, Marvel's Jessica Jones logo is revealed, plus other news. No release date yet. Come on. Speaking at TCA, Jessica isn't going to shy away from the source material. It all starts with Brian Michael Bendis' Alien via Slash Films. He created this incredibly flawed, damaged, interesting character regardless of gender. It was a character that drew me. I wasn't afraid to go there. We went even further. We've gone further in all of our storytelling. Ms. Rosenberg also told Entertainment Tonight that they might even get a glimpse of Jessica's goofy, short-lived night dress and jewel, and that she thinks she's allowed to say Rosario Dawson will be dropping in. There will be others as well, promising that smaller characters that populated the world will be popping in. Interesting, so keep your eyes and ears peeled.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting, Rosario Dawson will be in it because she was in Daredevil, so that opens up crossover opportunities. Have we all seen Daredevil?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't think Brittany's done yet.
I'm not done yet.
Oh, okay. I will say no more then. But
Yeah.
I will say this. I do know from reliable source, my boyfriend,
Yeah.
that Jessica Jones is very, very dark. Just because of like the way her origin story goes. He was describing it to me, and I was like, oh, no wonder they picked this one for Netflix. So. Yeah, so it's the same. It's sort of the same vein as Daredevil. It kind of sounds like. So and Daredevil, I enjoyed.
Yeah.
So
I did see somewhere that, and I don't know if this was at the same event or for something else, but somebody had said that the way that Vincent D'Onofrio's character of Kingpin, like, kind of had this, he wasn't a bit part, obviously, because, I mean, he's a villain, but, he was a very, very strong presence in Daredevil, that David Tennant's Purple Man will be in a similar vein for Jessica Jones, which makes me very excited, because I'm all for more David Tennant.
Yeah.
Even though
I mean, as much as... Oh, go ahead.
A couple of times Kingpin almost sounded like Edgar in Men in Black. I was like,
yeah.
No, don't call him.
Yeah.
Don't call him.
Yeah.
I mean, and I really, I mean, he is, Kingpin is the villain, obviously, and you're not supposed to like him, but there are times I'm like, dude, I kind of really like this character. Like, why are you the bad guy?
Yeah.
And then, then by the end, I realized, he's a bad guy. But so the fact that David Tennant will be as much the big villain as Kingpin was in Daredevil, I'm like, more David Tennant on my screen, I will not complain.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I'm all for it. Thank you.
Yes, please.
Yep.
Further on in the news, and this one, I don't know why they're bothering anymore. But I'm going to give them Sleepy Hollow Season 3. There's not going to be, which, if you know the original story of Sleepy Hollow, the original Washington Irving short story, Ichabod the Headless Horseman, and all that stuff. Of course, obviously, TV show Sleepy Hollow has not followed the source material.
Yeah. I wonder why.
I mean, obviously, the source material is like a 10-page short story.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, if you haven't, it's on Audible, and they have Tom Meissen reading it. Oh, I love it. So go. Anyway, so apparently, so basically, what they're doing for season 3 with Sleepy Hollow, it's a soft reboot because season 2 was such a flipping mess.
Yeah.
And they had, there was so much potential, and they squandered it. But now it's under new management, so to speak. So what they're going to do more is focus on the relationship, friendship, romance, otherwise, however it's going to turn out between Abby and Ichabod Crane. Just because there's such great chemistry between the two characters. And so they're going to move away from like the Headless Horseman. So he's not going to be in it at all this next season. So that's going to be it. I mean, it's a risk they're taking, which is good. They're taking risks with it. But at the same time, it's like the Headless Horseman was kind of
iconic,
a linchpin in the story. So I don't know. Maybe it's just Sleepy Hollow in name only. I don't know. But yeah, they've also they killed off Katrina, which I'm annoyed about that. Henry's gone. Holly is gone, and
sorry, Holly.
Frank Irving. not our Holly. I don't remember what his first name was. Holly's his last name, and it's spelled Hawley.
Sorry, I said
he was kind of a likable character toward the end. I mean, at first it took a while to get used to him. I'm like, yeah, you know what, you're all right.
Mm-hmm.
And then Frank Irving is no longer on the show. Orlando Jones is gone, so shed a tear for that. But I do.
From what I did get around to watching of Sleepy Hollow, I liked him.
Again, there was potential, even though mid-season they killed him off. But because this is a show about bringing people back from the dead, I was like, he could be, a minion of death or something. Or could be another. He could be like another one of the horsemen of the. He could come back. I had hopes for that, but
it didn't.
So he did come back, but not in the way I thought they should have done it. Like they again wasted potential. There was so much potential with a lot of these characters, and they just didn't do it right. I think this is my theory on Sleepy Hollow. Is they had the first season, they didn't expect it to be like this great big phenomenal, everybody loves it, they thought quietly go away or something like that. And then once all this success. They had no idea what to do with it, and it scared the crap out of them, and they freaked out and screwed everything up. That's my theory.
I hate it when the writers screw up shows with that much potential. I
Yes.
started watching it, and
Like Katrina. I know a lot of people don't like her. A lot of people snip Ichabod and Abby. Yeah. So, but I thought Katrina, she how can you screw up having a witch on your show about supernatural?
You can,
But,
apparently.
you can do so much with this, and they screwed it up. And she was just really good. And then they made her evil.
I prefer Ichabod and Abby as friends. I don't ship them at all.
I'm with you, Mitch. I like
Same here.
They're good.
I like
friends.
Ichabod and
Why
Katrina's
can't we leave
romance.
it at that?
Because Tumblr is crazy.
Men and women can be friends.
It's true. I'm not arguing with you on that one, but you know. I mean, you all know me. I shipped things to the nth degree, but I loved Ichabod and Katrina's romance. I loved their love story. I thought that was one of the things I thought.
There's a kid you shipping these two who are clearly better off as friends.
And I'm afraid if they do put them in a romance, again, it's going to ruin things.
Probably.
So
So,
much.
mhm.
So much.
I know.
Their banter is
It's their friendship
is
stuff.
perfect.
Yes.
Why would you try and ruin that with a romance?
I don't know. I
I'm
don't
not
know. To
watching
appease
the whole
the
of it.
Tumblr fangirls, I don't
They don't try and ruin that with a romance.
say, and I take no pleasure in saying this. I'm pretty sure you and I are not going to get our wish on that score.
I know.
But you know what? I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna watch season 1 because it's so wonderful, and to heck with everything else. And then I was like, that's where it ends.
Yeah.
Because that's where that's as far as the writers planned out. They're like, oh, this is season 2. Shoot!
Kind of like the
Throw it
set
out.
for Once Upon a Time last season.
Yes! Throw it out, throw everything at the wall and see what sticks.
Mm.
And I'll kind of apart. Anyway.
Anyway,
okay, enough,
we need to move
enough
on.
Harping. Gotta move on. Brittany, take it away.
All right, here's some good news.
Yes.
With less than a month away, we have a new trailer for the Series 9 of Doctor Who, and here be dragons.
There's a dragon! I really hope it's an actual dragon, too. If it turns out to be some sort of, set.
It could be a Loch Ness monster.
Well, that's true, too. And that's still kind of a dragon, so it still kind of works.
It's a water dragon.
Yeah.
Instead of-
But I was all like, it's a dragon. I told Chauncey, there's a dragon. And is it Smaug? I'm like, well, it kind of looks like Smaug, so it's a dragon.
Maybe they got coming back.
I feel like I should channel my inner Mickey Rooney and break out and Beats Dragon. A dragon! A dragon! I really saw a dragon! Y'all don't know what I'm talking about? Go watch Pete's Dragon.
I'm really fire breathing. I love that movie.
Dragon! A dragon! I don't really care about anything else that's in the trailer. It's just,
I mean, that's not the rest of the podcast, Rachel.
yeah. It's a dragon!
Dragon. I swear
I saw a dragon!
Now I gotta look up on YouTube.
Yeah.
Well, Nerdist, the Nerdist posted a thing where they go through the trailer.
Like frame by frame. Yeah, spoilers.
Spoilery, so they
I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
They look at the there's a shot of the galaxy in this one again.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever watched it for the Nerdist did not see the galaxy. Did not see a galaxy. They saw Gallifreyan architecture, I think.
It's all going to be up to interpretation till we actually see it, and then we'll go, oh, that's what that was.
So we're like, oh, that makes sense.
So.
And then we'll go back and look at our theories and laugh at ourselves.
Yeah. But between now and whenever that episode...
General, try and stay away from the theories.
Yeah. But in this, yeah, in this case, it looks like a dragon, so I'm saying it's a dragon until I'm told otherwise.
Well, I'm not arguing.
I like the dragon theory because I love dragons.
Yeah.
Dragons are awesome.
If it looks like a duck, it quacks like a duck, it's got to be dragon.
Jaws. They don't like dragons.
And I'm just going to keep watching this trailer and the other one. The nice thing is this trailer is really, like, most of a lot of the shots are not shots that were in the trailer from San Diego. Mm-hmm. So it's not like the same trailer with slightly different editing. Like, there's obviously, there's shots that are obviously from the same episode, because we see Maisie Williams again, but she's in a different outfit and her hair's different. And we see the doctor with the sunglasses, but this time he's looking at Daleks, so apparently the rock and roll with the guitar and the sunglasses good.
Johnny be good. Johnny be good.
The recurring theme throughout the season.
Right. This doctor is going to wear sunglasses.
Sunglasses for this season's eye patches.
We've moved on from the Fez and the Stetson. We are now doing sunglasses.
Hey, maybe they're like brainy specs, only cooler.
Maybe.
Because he doesn't need to wear them because he's in the.
Yeah. He just thinks they make him look cool and smart. Yeah. Maybe.
I need that song from the 80s. I wear
my sunglasses. Yeah. We're going to give you a whole range of earworms during this episode.
Here's your playlist for the week, people.
Yeah. You start with Mickey Rooney and go on to Corey. Was it Corey Feldman? Corey, one of the Corys?
Yeah. Yes.
Anyway, Doctor Who. Yay!
Yay! Yay!
Oh, wait,
I'm so excited. Speaking of Doctor Who.
19th yet?
No, it's not, unfortunately.
But you know what else September 19th is? I gotta point this out. It's Talk Like a Pirate Day, and it's also Hermione Granger's birthday.
Arr.
It has nothing to do with anything else. There it is.
Okay. Kind of. Speaking of things that involve details about Lego Dimensions, which includes Doctor Who, there are we have pricing and among other things. So there is the starter pack. Lego Dimensions in general is available for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Nintendo Wii U, and Xbox 360. The starter pack includes you can start playing with Batman, Gandalf, and Wild Style from the Lego Movie. But like we've talked about this with the Doctor Who and all these others. But like Doctor Who, you have to shell out even more money. On top of the $99.96 on if you're an Amazon Prime member on Amazon, save a whole 3 cents off the $99.99 price.
They're really enticing me to go for this Amazon Prime.
Yeah,
thing.
really. All of the other universes, yeah,
all the whole 99 cents.
Yeah, the all the other universes like Doctor Who, Portal, Back to the Future, Scooby-Doo, Ghostbusters, those will be expansion packs, which, depending on what you want, range anywhere from like $15 to another $30. So it just kind of depends.
The main Doctor Who, and then if you want a Cyberman and a Dalek on top of that is another $15.
Right, and there are various release dates as well. The main game will be on Amazon. It's available September 27th. The Doctor Who level pack will be available November 3rd on Amazon. And I'm looking here, like there's a
Back to the Cyberman Fun Pack.
Yeah.
January 19th.
Yeah, like the Back to the Future doc. So it just kind of depends, but I guess once you get this whatever version for your specific gaming system you have, the expansion packs are not machine specific, so you don't have to worry about getting Doctor Who Xbox 360. It does as long as you have.
Most of the Steam packs are also going to be available on the 27th, except for the Doctor Who one.
Of course.
Joker and Harley isn't available until January 19th.
Yeah.
I have no idea what logic is going into the release, like when this stuff is released. Like
maybe they like put it all in a hat and then whatever they drew out. Okay, that's when we're doing it.
Who knows?
That's the only thing
I believe it.
It came with the licensing agreement or something like.
Maybe.
Oh yeah, the logical business route.
Yeah, I know. Anything, right?
No, never.
So, all I know is I really want to put this on my Christmas list, but as we were talking before we were recording, I really want to I think we have an Xbox 360, but I desperately want to upgrade our PlayStation so, as well. So it's like I could get it now, or I could order it and be able to play it on the Xbox. Or I could
The starter pack on here is listed for Xbox One, not 360.
Yeah. I thought when I was looking at it also had it for the 360. I could be wrong.
Maybe we're getting conflicting reports.
It's not on the
things.
first page of my results.
Yeah.
First page of my results has PlayStation 4 and Wii U and Xbox One.
Yeah, no, the one I'm looking at, it says Xbox Dimension Starter Pack Xbox 360. So maybe it's because you're Canadian.
All right. If you have a 360 starter pack of the culpable, then okay, go for it.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Woohoo!
People out in listener land, just double check whatever you're getting and whatever.
Make sure the starter pack you're getting is compatible with the console you have.
Yes.
Yes. Do your own homework, double check, don't take our word for it, because apparently we don't have the right information.
Well, and
unless you're willing to buy a whole new console to play the version you end up getting.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which, if you have that kind of money,
some people do that.
if you have that kind of money, please invite me over. I will gladly bring pizza and beer, and I will come over and we can play.
Yes.
Oh, shut up and take my money. Anyway, moving on.
Moving on.
Yeah.
To Heroes Reborn.
Woo!
There's an exclusive digital prequel series which is now available on YouTube. It used to only be available on the Heroes Reborn app that you can download.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's available on YouTube, and I watched it, and it made me really excited.
I've watched the first. I watched the first two.
It starts with the fact that spoilers.
Just go watch it if you haven't seen it. Or if you're caught up.
See, the thing is, I want to talk about the start, but it's going to spoil the end of season 4.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. Because some of us aren't there yet.
It basically falls into new... It's trying to be as spoiler-free as possible. It follows this new character as she's, like, going through and discovering her powers, and she's...
Things are happening and they're exciting.
Yeah.
Well, see, because the thing is, Reborn is operating from a position that everybody knows about people with abilities,
right?
Through the internet.
We talked a little bit about the premise of Heroes Reborn from San Diego.
Yeah. She's documenting, and she's like doing like, so people start doing like videos where they're showing their powers and posting them on the one girl as she starts doing that and stuff. Yeah, and it's basically leading up
because
to where things are at the beginning of Heroes Reborn.
Right.
Which is an interesting way to take it, because when the first, like when Heroes first started back in, was it 2006? I mean, YouTube and all that stuff was around, but it wasn't as ubiquitous as it is now.
Right.
Where, back then it was just like, but now people have gotten to where they, actively post things on YouTube and Twitter and Instagram and Vine and Snapchat, and like that is
I found
social media culture now.
About this prequel series through this Heroes podcast. Like there was this Heroes podcast called The 10th Wonder that I used to listen to back in the day. Yeah. They posted it on their Twitter about it, and I watched it. So we can include a link to their website, and then there's this Hero Truther YouTube channel that's kind of been that has a bunch of videos of like people videos that people post with showing their powers.
Oh, okay.
So there's a few videos of like people using like that shows people using their powers.
Yeah.
I think.
I'm excited for Heroes. I'm trying to get through my Heroes rewatch. I'm trying to get caught up. It's slow going.
Yeah.
Which Chauncey and I are having the same problem. Is we've gotten used to watching like real light-hearted type shows that are either they don't seem that long because they're really like light. Like he watches like a lot of Home Improvement and all that, so they're usually half hour and they're real funny and they're light-hearted. And I watch cartoons and stuff. Comedies, and he's trying to get caught up on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I'm trying to get caught up on Heroes, and they're like heavy action, character-oriented, and they're 45-minute long episodes, and it's like, it's slow going.
I can understand that, definitely.
Oh.
It's the summertime. We're getting back into that. Oh yeah, our shows are all coming back, and we got to get used to these things.
That type of format where it's not all going to be like la da 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 da,
Yeah,
like, there's going to be.
We have the Muppets to look forward to.
Yeah, really.
So.
Speaking of something a little
feels ahead,
heavier, but also on a positive note. Sense8 has been renewed for a second season.
Cool.
So they announced it on August 8th, which is the birthday of the main cluster in the show.
Cool.
Like the cluster that we're following. They were born on August 8th, 1985. So.
Okay.
And they have a video that's like, happy birthday, we're coming back for season 2, kind of thing. And there's a making of thing on Netflix if you want, for Sense8, if you watch that show and want to check out this
behind the
making
scenes
of, like, see how they did various things.
Cool.
Neat.
Yeah. Alrighty then. Well, that's it for non-topic related news. Even with San Diego Comic-Con, at the 11th hour, I was struggling to try and get like all the links and notes and everything together. This, I'm even worse off because, one, the convention is still happening. Like we mentioned, and before we went on our hiatus, that we were going to be talking about D23 Expo, which is literally still going on. They were having a Once Upon a Time panel as we started recording.
Yes, and it was on Twitter, and things were happening, although they were also not happening.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going on.
And there's still another day of convention tomorrow, but most of the big stuff has already been announced and presented, so that's what we're all going to touch on. They had
Saturday's the biggest day of any convention.
Yeah. So they've done the movies and the parks panels, and those are the big things. And Disney is not disappointed. I will say now, that some of the movie stuff may be slightly spoilerish. So anyone listening that doesn't want to hear anything about like the Marvel Cinematic Universe and other things, you may want to turn away and come back after those movies have come out. Or all these trailers and everything are up on the internet and they're for everybody to see, I guess. So let's jump straight into this. I'm not really I'm gonna do this kind of clumped together. We'll do movies and then parks because of the two. At least for me, the parks was the one that I was most excited for, and for announcements. And those announcements happened while I was at church. And I was telling the girls, I'm like, the panel was starting the same time as the church service was starting. I'm like, would it be bad for me to check Twitter while we're in worship here? I didn't. I was good. But it was really tempting. But as soon as the pastor was like, see y'all next week, I'm like, Twitter, Facebook, what did I miss?
Trying to be the thing.
Yes.
Oh, that is funny.
Yeah. So let's do Disney movies first, and they broke this up into 2 days. Actually, yesterday was the animation / Pixar. Today was live action. I just have it written down with the live action first because that's the tab that I opened first. Thank goodness for some of my friends that are there and have like Disney specific stuff. So they've been live blogging and tweeting. So I've been able to do a lot of information. And
less them for doing so.
Unlike like something like San Diego Comic-Con, where they have these big Hall H panels. These, at least with the movies, unless they're a specific one, I think like the Once Upon a Time one, it may be done slightly different. But these big ones where they just go and talk for several hours about what the studios are doing and what the parks are doing. They just present information. It is just information overload. They don't do things like questions from the audience like San Diego does. So it's almost like a business conference in a way, except it's all Disney and it's awesome. But live action movies specifically, that was today, and it was this morning, and it was chock full. And one of the first things that they touched on was Marvel, which that included Kevin Feige, president of Marvel Studios, to come and talk about the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And the first thing they discussed was Doctor Strange, which Kevin Feige described as weird. In a good way, apparently.
Well, with a name like Doctor Strange.
Yeah. But there was a video message from Benedict Cumberbatch, who promised girls, cars, explosions, and astral projecting into alternate dimensions. And there was the movie is in pre-production. Last I heard, they're not supposed to start filming until like November, but that may change. Right, but they did show some concept art, which right now has not been put out on the internet. But from what I've heard, the concept art of Doctor Strange specifically looks very, very similar to the way he looks in the comic books. So if you know what he looks like in the comic books, that gives you an idea of what Benedict is going to look like in this movie. Which, yeah, I'm excited. I'm just excited Benedict Cumberbatch is part of the MCU. So. Keep collecting them.
Tangent.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
I was checking Twitter. Apparently, Josh Dallas was in the Once Upon a Time D23 panel. He was in the audience dressed as a stormtrooper.
Yep.
And then he stood up to ask a question, and he took the helmet off.
Oh,
and then
Josh.
He went up on stage. Sorry, I had to throw that out there.
Nice.
There's always somebody that does something like that at D23. It's crazy.
I can just see it happening too.
Yeah.
Well, there's pictures. There's pictures on Twitter.
Yeah.
I will put a link in here as soon as I get
Yeah.
Twitter up on my iPad.
Yeah.
Gloriousness.
Yeah.
Anyway, continue, Rachel. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I interrupted.
No, you're fine. So after Doctor Strange was Captain America Civil War, and Chris Evans and Anthony Mackie showed up. And apparently Chris Evans said that Disney, which I can't blame him. And then,
I can't argue with that.
Yeah. And then from the movie, and then a teaser trailer, which, spoilers, includes a brief scene with Paul Rudd as Ant-Man. Not that should be a huge surprise, but still, if you've seen Ant-Man, you know the connection. Spoilers. I don't know if that teaser trailer will end up online at some point. Hopefully.
I would be happy if it did.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So there's that. And apparently Stan Lee also showed up at D23 Expo to chat, which, yay! One of my friends that's there was like, Stan Lee! I'm like, yay! You're in the same room as Stan Lee. On a side note, apparently Dick Van Dyke walked by her and her husband earlier in the day, like unaccompanied, and she was so like starstruck. He was gone before she thought to ask for a picture or something. So that gives you an idea of what D23 Expo is like. You can just be hanging out, and there goes Dick Van Dyke. Off to go get a sandwich.
I saw the video of Dick Van Dyke and was it Richard Sherman singing "Let's Go Fly a Kite."
Chill.
And I was just like, my heart.
I know.
My Disney nostalgia little heart just burst with joy.
Oh, I know. Ugh. The fact that I've got to meet Richard Sherman, that just makes it better for me. But still, anyway.
Jealous.
Yeah, I know.
Jealous over my friend.
For the sake of time here, I'm not going to cover everything. There's some of these movies that are like, whatever. It's not something I'm going to go see. So I'm going to touch on the stuff that is more pertinent to us. So, Jon Favreau, which we all know is Happy, from Iron Man, he was there to talk about his live action version of the Jungle Book, which he is currently working on, which includes Sir Ben Kingsley, Lupita Nyong'o, and some other people, and Bill Murray as Baloo. And apparently they got to see footage of Bill Murray's Baloo singing The Bare Necessities.
Oh, so it is going to be a musical.
And they did release the movie poster for that. So that comes out next year, which was cool. We got the poster and a little bit of more information about the Alice in Wonderland sequel that we discussed. That we were all like, really? They're making another one? Tim Burton's gonna make money somehow, like I said. Of course, Johnny Depp will be back as the Mad Hatter, Helena Bonham Carter as the Queen of Hearts, Anne Hathaway as the White Queen, and Sacha Baron Cohen apparently is joining the cast as the character of Time.
Huh. Yeah, that's an interesting move.
So.
I just picture Helena Bonham Carter and
Carter. Yeah.
Bellatrix and Sacha Baron, that guy.
Yeah.
As their characters from Les Mis.
Yeah. They talked about the live-action remake of Beauty and the Beast. And then there was a video message from Emma Watson on set in London, where they're currently filming. And apparently the message also included Luke Evans and Josh of the Gaston song. Which really, Josh Gad as LeFou is like the best casting choice ever.
I've seen all his Instagram posts from the set, and I'm just like, Josh Gad, you are a gift to humanity.
Yeah. Excuse me. After that was Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales, or as we know it, Pirates of the Caribbean 5, which Johnny Depp came out. Actually, he did this the first D23 Expo ever to announce the previous Pirates movie. So this, although I think it was less of a,
he loves doing that.
Well, he Sparrow out in public, but I think this year it was less of a surprise because it was there, because the day before they'd had the Disney Legends ceremony, which we talked about when Disney announced the award, like George Lucas and Danny Elfman and all that, but they threw Johnny Depp in as a surprise Legend winner recipient, so it was a complete surprise. And of course Johnny was there, so the fact that it's of a surprise, unlike last time, but still, anytime you can see Johnny Depp in person as Captain Jack Sparrow is win-win, I think.
Yeah.
Apparently, in character, when they asked Jack Sparrow about Johnny Depp's Disney Legend win, Jack Sparrow referred to Depp as more of a Disney legion. As opposed to a legend.
Oh my. Oh, Captain Jack.
Yeah. In production right now in Australia. But they either confirmed, or to some people it may be a surprise, but Orlando Bloom and Jeffrey Rush will be back as Captain Barbossa, and they also are including... have added Javier Bardem as Captain Salazar.
I still haven't.
Yeah, me neither. I was just gonna say
It's not bad.
I stopped at 3, but I guess I should watch.
I stopped at 3 as well. It's like, shut up for fly.
You could probably skip it.
Because I heard people were pleasantly surprised that it was actually halfway decent. But at first I was like, I don't really need to see it. Then people said they're like, okay, maybe I'll watch it, and I just haven't gotten around to it.
It's not bad. I'll give it that.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah. And then we're talking live action Disney related films. Star Wars.
Oh, yes.
Which not really.
There was a new poster.
Yeah. Yeah, we got that iconic Star Wars poster for the Force Awakens. Not really a whole lot of news because I think most of that was at San Diego Comic-Con, if there was any. Although they did confirm that Colin Trevorrow, who directed Jurassic World, will be directing episode 9? 9.
Oh, yeah, because 8's already got the director.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
cool.
That's cool. And they have started filming Star Wars Rogue One. And they showed the first cast photo from that, which is kind of news, I guess.
Now, is Alan Tudyk, is that a rumor, or is that a confirmed, yes, he's in it?
In Rogue One, he's not part of the cast shot that they showed. So most
I just remember seeing.
Yeah.
I remember seeing Alan Tudyk.
Oh yeah, he is there. Yeah, he is there. He's towards the end.
Okay.
I was looking.
So he is in it. Okay.
I was looking down the line, and I was about to say the only name I recognize is Forrest Whitaker, but then two more faces over. There's Alan Tudyk. So.
Okay, because I didn't want to say anything and have people go like, what? And I'm like, and have it not be true, but okay, it's true.
Yeah.
All right, yay! Wash is gonna be in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Which kind of makes sense because he's sort of been, he's been in a lot of Disney stuff lately. Well, like the animation, he's been doing. He's a voice actor. He's in Wreck-It Ralph and Frozen. But it's cool that
Did you see Tom Baker recorded something for Star Wars?
I saw that article, but I was like, Brittany, didn't you say that was the only one you could find?
That was the only. Yeah, that's the only thing.
I think I saw. I think I saw something else where Tom Baker confirmed that he actually did something.
Recorded something out of the movies
Yeah.
one of the animated series.
Regardless, Tom Baker in Star Wars, anything.
Yeah.
Yes. This with Star Wars that I've noticed is like when they're production, they're very locked down, hush hush about these things. Like I gotta tell a really quick story. So my parents, my family, they went and saw, I can't remember if it was Ant-Man or Avengers or something. It was Jurassic World, and they saw the trailer for Star Wars. And my mom was all like, I guess she didn't realize that they were doing a new Star Wars, and she's like, what's wrong with the old Star Wars? Like, why are they remaking it? And my dad and my sister had to explain to her, I love you, Mom, I had to explain to her that this was, another, it wasn't a reboot, it wasn't a remake, it was, it's got... It's a continuation. Yes. It's got, Luke Skywalker and Princess Leia and Han Solo, and she's like, but they're all old now. How could they do all the things that they did in the other movie?
They just do, and then when they break something, they go to the hospital. Harrison Ford.
Yes. Yes. Sorry, I had to embarrass my mother because it was just the funniest story.
Well, and...
So my point was like
the main characters. They're gonna be like
right.
They're gonna be supporting. Yeah.
But my point was like with Star Wars, they're very locked down, and it's like you don't know what's going on until you have something like Comic-Con or D23, and it's like here promotion, posters, trailers, everything going on ever, and it's awesome. And come see Star Wars at Christmas, and yay.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you don't really know what's going on until boom, there it is.
Yep.
And it's kind of cool that way.
Once.
Yes. It's like drinking from a fire hose.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't rightly blame my mother for not realizing there was new Star Wars coming out. But it was a funny story.
Yeah.
Oh, my grandma didn't know until today until I said something.
Well, see, there you go. There's people who are just not plugged in, and they don't know until...
And that's why we do this show.
That's why we do this show, and that's why we tell our family and friends and say, look, this is a thing that's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Speaking of Harrison Ford, he showed up. Of the older cast, he was the only one to show up. Otherwise, it was mostly the young cast and J.J. Abrams, which he himself is young. So
I did see an image of Luke Skywalker, well, Mark Hamill as Luke Skywalker in his full Jedi Obi-Wan,
which was
they
leaked.
Really?
And he's like
very Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
This is so good.
It's like, this is everything I've ever wanted.
Yeah.
Other than an actual Obi-Wan standalone movie, but I think I'm going to get that anyway.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, Luke Skywalker as Obi-Wan.
As the Obi-Wan.
Yes. As the Obi-Wan character for this new trilogy.
Yes. Because we don't have Obi-Wan, we don't have Yoda, we need that wise mentoring type person.
Someone, and Luke is gonna have to step in and fill that role to train a new generation of Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah.
We'll save that discussion when we talk Star Wars as we get closer to the movie coming out.
We are teasing.
I know. We're all excited.
Yes, we are.
Yeah. It is.
Oh, you know what's fun? You know what's a lot of fun lately?
Yeah.
So every Sunday I go over to my boyfriend's parents' house for dinner, and like every other week we started like a couple weeks ago. We're showing his 5-year-old nephew Star Wars for the first time. We've only been able to watch the first movie so far, and it is so much fun to see a little kid like see Star Wars for the first time. Like I've seen these movies like. Someone who's like brand new to it, it's like, this is so cool. I love it. It's a totally new experience for me, and I'm really enjoying it. So, if you get the chance to do that, show Star Wars to someone for the first time, do it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, as we were.
Yeah. So
We're just
there
geeking out, having-
really wasn't a whole lot Star Wars movie related announcements, but the movies are going to be affecting the parks, but we will get into that shortly.
I think that's the one that broke the internet.
Yeah, it did. Just a smidge. That is pretty much it for the live action. Now, if you want to talk animation, apparently the animation presentation went on for 3 hours.
Oh my gosh.
Between the animation studios and Pixar, which Pixar went first, starting with, obviously presented by John Lasseter, which apparently at D23 in like the expo area with all the booze and everything, they had a display of some of John Lasseter's best Hawaiian shirts, because the man apparently owns like 500 Hawaiian shirts.
Hey, when you're the boss, when you're the head boss chief,
Yeah.
one of the best, greatest animation studios in the world, you can wear whatever the heck you want.
Mm-hmm. They announced a few movies, actually a lot of movies, but some of them were expected. Some of them I've not heard of before. Apparently there's one coming out, a Pixar film is called Zootopia, which is being described as a Wind in the Willows for today's audiences.
I actually saw. Wait, was that the one? Yes, because when I saw Inside Out, I saw a very teaser trailer for Zootopia, and I don't know. It looks. I don't know what to think of it. I am not super thrilled about it. I think it looks a little silly, but I don't know, because like when I saw the trailer,
with the Pixar movies, you're like, but then it turns out it's like, oh, this is really good.
I have to admit, I kind of.
I was gonna say, like, but you know, when I first saw the trailer, the very first teaser trailer for Frozen, that trailer had nothing to do with the movie. Like, it was Olaf and Sven fighting over a carrot.
Yeah.
And that was it. And then you didn't see Anna or Elsa or any idea that it was, you know, the Snow Queen or anything. So, a very big grain of salt.
Well, apparently Jennifer Goods. She plays a bunny rabbit police officer.
Yeah.
Apparently,
see, and that further fuels my theory that she cannot play anything that isn't.
Apparently, one of the clips that they showed was it takes place at the DMV exclusively by sloths. Would you ever been to the DMV?
Yeah,
You know, that's perfect.
Yes, okay, that is appropriate.
I would watch it just for that scene. I want to see people stuck at the DMV.
Okay, maybe my opinion of this is climbing notch by notch.
Yeah. Oh my.
I have to admit, I kind of got lost with this trailer when I saw it, because like they first started explaining it as anthropomorphic animals, and I couldn't help think, oh great, Glenn's talking about like this. So you don't think about the aliens? No. Well, his thing is that anthropomorphized aliens that's supposed to be from a planet. That's what bugs him. But an anthropomorphized animal, an actual like duck or rabbit or cat or something, be okay. But Glenn, if you want to correct me, if I got this wrong, feel free to chime in. It would, you know, whatever. I mean, just know that what you're seeing is kind of the running. Though.
Yeah. Oh, excuse me. The next is not a Pixar movie. I think it's the animation studios. Is a movie called Gigantic, which is going to be Disney's take on Jack and the Beanstalk. Is The music is going to be written by the same people that brought us Let It Go, Let It Go. Yeah.
Oh, pretty good.
So
yeah, now here's I saw this joke somewhere. I think it was Nostalgia Critic on his Facebook page, and he was saying like, okay, yeah, this looks good, but you know, what's with the title convention here, Disney? Are we going to go back and reboot Sleeping Beauty soothing?
yeah.
Just because it's like okay, you know, we've had Rapunzel was Tangled, Snow Queen was Frozen, and now Jack and the Beanstalk is gigantic, and it's like, okay, you can't just call it, you know, Jack and the Beanstalk, and I don't know.
It's the single
But it's
word
just,
titles. They just work well because they're easy to plaster
Yeah.
onto things and not take up a lot of space. I guess.
I guess so. It was just it was something to point out.
Yeah. It looks cute. It looks like it could be
It's
cute.
not. Yeah, I mean, I'm not complaining. I'm just pointing.
The Rock was there. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson was there to discuss the Disney movie. I'm going to butcher this. I'm so sorry. I think it's Moana.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that looks good.
But it's based in the South
Yeah.
Pacific. But Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is going to be a part of that. So,
Yeah.
which he looked very excited to be there. And then I guess they played some of the music that's going to be part of it. South Pacific Island type music, I guess.
Hey, that's cool
Yeah.
with me.
Um,
It kind of works with if you saw the little Pixar short before Inside Out, Lava.
lava. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
With the volcano and the. That made me think of that when I saw that. I'm like, oh.
The two volcanoes in that are based on a real life couple that's like very important in like Hawaiian history.
Mm.
I think it's Hawaii, if I'm recalling this correctly. It's been a while, it's been a bit since I last saw someone talking about it on Tumblr.
Yeah.
But yeah, so.
Well, it wouldn't surprise me that Pixar had that short because Pixar has a tradition of referencing future movies in movies.
Through their shorts?
Either in the shorts or in the feature length movies themselves. I mean, there's the Easter eggs, like you can always find the Pizza Planet truck and all that. But they always they tend to put a reference to upcoming projects in their.
Of Pixar shorts, I finally got to see the Frozen one because I got to see Cinderella in theater.
Oh yeah, Frozen
one of the
theater,
local theaters, like one of the smaller theaters. I thought I'd missed my chance to see it in theaters, but then I found out that this small local theater was showing it, and I was there and watched it. Like the last showing on the last day it was available at that theater. So
Cool.
Nice. So it's
so
a cute one.
I got to see it in theaters finally. This was a couple of weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Or like no, more than a couple of weeks ago, like a month ago. But yeah,
right. Yeah.
Let's see here. Well, speaking of Inside Out, they showed him a short called Riley's First Date, which I've not seen Inside Out yet. So again, spoilers. I keep meaning to see it. I just haven't had time to go to the movie theater. So.
I can imagine, having seen Inside Out, I can imagine how this one is going to go.
Yeah.
Which is, it's a perfect little short thing for them to do with what the movie left off on, and that I will say no more.
I saw the beginning of the short of Riley's first date, like where the guy shows up at her house and her parents are like, "Riley's going on a date." I thought she was going skating with friends.
She is going skating with a Boy.
She just
Yeah.
started with the... yeah, it's like her mom's like, I knew she was going skating, but I thought it was with friends. And then this boy shows up. And her mom goes upstairs to talk to Riley and like be all cool, but use like the language the kids use and like, no. Because you know how it is when parents try and use
Oh, yes.
language.
Yep.
It was,
I can already see where this brand of humor is going. Riley's gonna try her mom's advice and it's going to fail miserably, and then it's gonna turn out like, I just wanted you to like me and I was trying to impress you and it didn't work out so well. That's okay.
well,
I still like you. Let's go skating. And then we're done.
The mom went up to Riley's room to probe to find out what was going on. So got it. Advice, but it's like, you know how like if you see in the movie how she probes about trying to probe about school.
Yeah, I remember that.
It's a similar thing, but she's trying to probe about this date and use the like the cool language that like how kids talk.
Mm.
Super hip.
So that as
hip
well as
hip,
expected.
Yeah.
And that's all I've seen of it is Riley's mom trying to use the cool language and then Riley's emotions react like, did she just say like this word? Like, no.
Yeah. Well, the short will be available on the DVD, which will be coming out this fall. So,
Yay!
if it doesn't get leaked on the internet between now and then, if you get the DVD,
Could happen.
A few more of the things that were actually talked about in the presentation. Two of these, I think we knew were coming. One of them, Finding Dory, which we know Ellen DeGeneres has been trying to get made for years.
Yep,
and it's finally getting done. Of course, it's all about Dory's history and her family, because we don't know any of her backstory and who her family is. So that's going to be the focus. And apparently Diane Keaton and Eugene Levy have been cast as Dory's parents. And they've also added Ed O'Neill and Ty Burrell from Modern Family.
Okay.
Which apparently Ed O'Neill is going to be a octopus.
All right.
And to kind of round out the actual presentation is Toy Story 4, which is going to be the story is going to be Woody and Buzz are going to be on a quest to find Bo Peep.
Oh, yes, I did.
It's going to be a bit of a love story between Woody and Bo Peep. But I guess they got to find her first. And apparently with that announcement, the presentation to also celebrate the 20th anniversary of the first Toy Story, which makes me feel really old, included
I was in 5th grade.
Included a bunch of the characters and a live performance of You've Got a Friend in Me, performed by Randy Newman, along with a plethora of Green Army men who rappelled from the rafters.
Nice.
There was one announcement. There was one other Pixar announcement, and I guess they didn't have any like clips or anything, but they are doing Incredibles 2
and Cars 3
and Cars 3. But if any of you guys, stick 4, with, because the first two, or whatever.
Yeah.
Apparently there was one in the 90s that was so terrible it never made it into theaters. So this is actually the 4th Fantastic Four they're on, and it still flopped.
Yeah.
And in the Honest trailer, they joke about how Pixar already made the best Fantastic Four movie, and it's The Incredibles.
Yes.
And they didn't even have to use the Fantastic Four characters. And then someone else made the joke. They had the poster of for the teaser poster for Incredibles 2, and they said this is the only Fantastic Four 2 that you need, because apparently even though this new Fantastic Four reboot was a complete and utter joke, they are still moving forward with doing the Fantastic Four sequel, which is like, just let Marvel have the rights back and they can do whatever. But anyway, Incredibles 2 is coming, for which I am very psyched, because Incredibles is amazing.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
What?
And don't go see Fantastic Four, because I didn't go see it, but I don't need to, because everybody I've heard that's seen it hates it. So
yeah.
Anyway,
yeah,
that was a slight tangent, just to make a joke about Incredibles.
Yeah. So that's pretty much it for.
Well, the link also has there's something about The Good Dinosaur and this movie called Coco.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, we're not going to touch on everything because there's just so much, but yeah, there's clips and art and stuff from almost everything we've talked about.
Well,
yes, it's there to be found.
Yeah.
Most of the art is in the pictures of the background of the stage.
Yeah. But a lot of that art, concept art, eventually will get released to the media, and they'll put it up on their various websites. So it just depends on how fast that stuff gets sent out to the media for them to post it. So, because I can get like stills and concept art and trailers and stuff directly from Disney. I have access to that thanks to some wonderful people. So it just depends on how fast that stuff goes up so that we can get it and put it out on our various sites and all that. So all just depends. But for the most part, that's pretty much everything movie related. So you're going to be sitting in movie theaters for a long time for this foreseeable future.
That's okay.
Yeah. And when you're not in the movie theater, and if you're fortunate enough to be going to the Disney parks, especially either Walt Disney World or Disneyland in California, there's going to be a lot coming, especially at Disney World, which is what I was highly anticipating, and they did not disappoint. First things first, something near and dear to my heart, and as we probably figured out, and something I know Lou Mangello is going to be very happy about, an announcement for a new restaurant. So at the Magic Kingdom in Florida, in Adventureland, they are going to be opening, and it's actually going to be open later this year, is going to be the Jungle Cruise Skipper Canteen, which if you've ever ridden the Jungle Cruise, you know how exciting this is, because it is one of the weirdest attractions in all of Walt Disney World. So there's going to be the official name is the Jungle Navigation Company Limited Skipper Canteen. If that's on a map, we'll just call it the Skipper Canteen or the Jungle Cruise Restaurant, I'm sure. But it's going to be a combination of unique dining rooms, including a crew mess hall, a hidden secret meeting room of the famed Society of Explorers and Adventurers, and the restaurant will be staffed all by Jungle Cruise skippers, which again, if you've ever ridden the Jungle Cruise, this is going to be hilarious. Because the Jungle Cruise is famous for the jokes, and the jokes, most of them are scripted. Like, you can ride the Jungle Cruise countless times and you're going to hear the same jokes over and over again, but they're so bad they're good. Like, they're like dad jokes, you know, they're like
very, very punny.
Yeah, they're very. You will get a really seasoned skipper or really talented one that can go off script and come up with some really unique jokes that you're not going to hear. Or if I'll have to post the video of this. One year, Chauncey and I went. I think it was our second anniversary. and usually when we go and we have a group of friends that all go at the same time, and they're all fellow Disney fans that met over the internet. They started going as a group every year, and they've been going for like 20. Some of them have been going for like 20 years. It's crazy.
Wow.
And it happens to be around the same time as Chauncey and I's anniversary, so we make sure we go when they're having we go when they're having their annual get together, and that's our anniversary celebration. But our second anniversary, it was just one of those perfect situations where we got the right group of people together, the right personalities, and we got on the jungle cruise and proceeded to do the spiel for our skipper. And she got so flustered, she just shut up. She didn't know what to do. And we got around we got around to the end to where you're supposed to get off, and we decided we didn't want to get off, and this was the year that they were doing Occupy Wall Street. So we occupied the Jungle Cruise and refused to get off the ship. And let us go around again.
Terrible.
It was all in good fun. She actually ended up having to get off the boat, and we ended up with a second skipper. And we pretty much did the same thing to him, and he thought we were awesome. But we have video of the entire thing. But we occupied the Jungle Cruise, and it was the best thing ever.
Oh my gosh, you guys, great.
I will post the video for that so that everyone can see it, because it was awesome. But if you've ever ridden the Jungle Cruise, you know how hilarious that is on itself. So the idea of a Jungle Cruise themed restaurant manned by Jungle Cruise skippers, we're gonna have so much fun. Not even funny. Let alone it's a new place to eat.
Post that video.
Yes.
Post that video, and then next time you go to that restaurant, you'll have to do Jungle Cruise, Occupy Jungle Cruise 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah, really. Pretty much.
Yes.
Oh. So, anyway. So, yeah. Yay! New place to eat. That's always a good thing.
Yay!
Yeah.
More restaurant reviews from Lou. I love those.
Yes, those are always
like my
good.
favorite things.
You know he will
which
be
is
there.
Really strange.
You know he will be
Which
there
is
at the
really
grand
strange
opening.
because he talks about so many different things about just Disney and Disney parks and stuff. Like he just started his Disney Legends segment. This past episode. But I love his restaurant reviews. Every time he does one, I'm like, I want to go have like Italian food or Mexican or whatever it is he's talking about, because I'm just like, dude. And I'm obviously not anywhere near Disney, so I have to make do with what I have.
Yeah.
Makes me hungry. And
yeah. There was a presentation and a model on display, and I think I shared the video on our Facebook page of the model for Pandora, which is coming to Disney's Animal Kingdom. And there's this fun little video, which is all about Alpha Centauri expeditions and about how guests will reach Pandora. And they show people walking around and looking at the plants and the foliage and talking about how it's like Earth but not quite. And Chauncey's like, oh, I bet these are all actors. And I'm like, yeah, they probably are. They hired them to make this little video. But then towards the end, you see this guy. And if you know who he is, then it's funny. But you see this guy talking about how it's like, oh, we don't have stuff like this on Earth. And it's Joe Rohde, who is one of the most recognizable Disney Imagineers because he has a very distinct look to him. He's got these big, like, feathery earring that he always wears, a funky shirt on, kind of like John Lasseter with the Hawaiian shirts. I'm like, yeah, he's an actor too. back on Earth. I'm like, yeah. I know you're trying to sell a story here, but really? You're going to put one of your most recognizable Imagineers into this video?
Apparently so.
Apparently so. Irregardless, I'm assuming that the plants and stuff that you see are concepts that they've come up with at Imagineering, and just what you see in the little video, they look gorgeous, and the model of Pandora just looks amazing. I'm so excited when this is going to be done to see this, and the stuff that they are planning for night. They're planning on doing boat rides on the river that runs through Animal Kingdom. They're going to have like a light show on the giant centerpiece of the park. Because you know, each of the parks, they have an icon, which the technical term is actually a weenie. Which in Magic Kingdom, it's Cinderella's Castle. Epcot, it's Spaceship Earth, or the giant golf ball, as a lot of people call it. At the studios, it's the water tower. And at Animal Kingdom, it's the Tree of Life, this giant tree. And they're planning on the essence of the plants on Pandora. So at night, like, you can walk a few steps and the plants will glow. Oh my goodness, this thing is going to be gorgeous when it's done. And I'm so excited.
Cool, sounds like.
It's so exciting. On top of that, which it's under construction right now, Disney also announced that they're going to be Safari, the Safari attraction at Animal Kingdom, and they're going to bring in some new species of animals. And apparently they're going to try to figure out a way, because the thing is with Animal Kingdom right now is once it gets dark, the animals go to sleep. And once the animals are asleep, there's a lot less to look at the park. And if they're asleep, that's not very entertaining. So I guess with the expansion and these new species they're going to bring in, they're hoping to be able to do nighttime versions of the safari, which would be cool.
Like with nocturnal animals?
Yeah, with like the nocturnal animals, okay. which I think would be kind of cool. That'd be cool. Yeah. Yeah. Do it if they can manage it. They could certainly give it a shot. You know, when you're working with real live animals, you know, you're at the mercy of the animals. But
yes, that is true.
Disney's gonna give it the old college try. Yeah. Well, even in the daytime, some of the animals are just not that active. Because it's Florida and it's warm. Things like the lions, they're usually asleep.
Yeah, like I'll go to our local zoo here, and you know, in the morning, they're more active, but then in the afternoon when it's warmer and they go take a nap, and that's not quite as entertaining.
Yep. Which
I can understand that. I'm like by 3 o'clock, I'm ready for a nap.
Yeah. Pretty much. So, Animal Kingdom, yay. I think Pandora is expected to be open by 2017, sometime in 2017. So we still got a ways before it opens, but still, yay.
Hey, I'm not getting there anytime soon anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, me neither.
If you start saving your pennies now, you may be able to afford to go by the time it's open. Although with all this other stuff that's coming, you may want to wait, and you'll have more time to save.
My friend is offered, like, she's planning to go to England next summer, and she said if I can save up enough money, that I might be able to go with them. So might go to the Doctor Who experience in Cardiff.
Don't tease.
Put
me in your suitcase.
You don't want to do, and they all cost so much money.
Yeah. Yeah, really. Over in Epcot, they released a bit more information for the Frozen update to the ride in Norway, which is apparently going to be, and they showed a little bit more concept art, and they gave them a glimpse. There's also a glimpse of the animatronic Sven that's going to be in the attraction.
Huh.
So, Sven!
Yay!
So if you haven't had your fill of Frozen, you're in luck. If you've had your fill of Frozen, I'm sorry.
Pandora instead.
Yeah,
Or
you
something
can
else.
go to Pandora.
I will go do the Frozen thing
Yeah,
if I ever get there.
yeah. Also in Epcot, in California Adventure, but both coasts, their version of Soarin' is going to get updated to Soarin' Around the World, because right now Soarin' was in California. That made sense. When they brought it to Florida, not so much, but it's a really cool attraction. Every time I hear the music, I want to cry. But it has been needing some updates just based on the look of the film, because they actually use film and it looks like it's on film. So I'm hoping that the new version will be digital and the image will be much more crisp and clear. It's a very cool attraction because you sit on these gliders and they bring you up as kind of a cave. So you're slightly inserted into the screen because it's rounded out or curved, hollowed out. It's like you're hang gliding over various places in California, and it tilts and it swerves, and there's a little bit of wind, and they pump in some smells. You go over an orange grove, you smell oranges. Pine forest, you smell pine trees. It's a very cool attraction, but it has needed updates. It's gonna be soaring over the world, so that you will take you all over the world. So you'll get to see. The only specific place that they mention is the Great Wall of China, which that itself is pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
So I'd imagine things probably like the pyramids and the Great Wall of China, and probably like New York City, something, stuff that's
Paris.
Paris,
Tower.
so there's things like that. So
That's
cool.
There's plenty to choose from.
Yeah, so that will be. So, as if the lines for Soarin' weren't long enough, they're going to be even longer now. For those who overseas to some of the Disney parks, they showed some footage from the Hong Kong Disneyland, which, yeah, I'm very jealous. I need to go to Hong Kong as soon as this opens. Seriously. I just,
Maybe
it's
if
Marvel.
it's a success there, they'll bring it to the States.
We can only hope. We can only hope. This whole no Marvel characters in the parks in Florida rule is really starting to grate on my nerves.
Why did they do that?
It's because
Licensing or
because Universal has a Marvel section in their park in Florida, and have Marvel characters and Marvel themed attractions in Florida.
See, I didn't
so
know
not to compete, Disney agreed not to put any Marvel characters in the park and each other. California and any of the other parks, it's free game. So in California, they don't really have a whole lot. They've got Captain America and Thor as meet and greet characters, and they've done like with the up until last year in their version of Innoventions, which is like it's a space where they can do rotating exhibits and stuff. They would have like props and stuff for whatever Marvel movie is getting ready to come out. So there was somewhat of more Marvel in California, but not to the extent as what they're getting in Hong Kong, and I'm very jealous. And that was this presentation was at the point where Stan Lee showed up. Which, can you blame him? No. Because it's Iron Man. And it's Stan Lee. So apparently it's going to be 3D simulator ride. And you're going to be fighting side by side with Iron Man. Fighting bad guys. It looks really cool. There's video, and then there's a still shot of Stark Tower in the experience. Ah. So, the two big ones. First off,
people are probably like,
yeah,
why aren't you talking about this?
Yeah, why aren't you talking about that? We're getting there. First off, and both of these affect the park that I've been saying has needed serious attention, and that is Disney's Hollywood Studios in Florida. The studios, when they first opened, was an actual working studio. They would film stuff there. They would do animation there. Eventually, they stopped doing that, and they focused more on attractions that were movie and TV based, for the most part. But recently, they have been shutting things down left and right, and it was it was so that they could make way for new stuff, most of which we knew was coming as Disney's worst kept secret. But it seemed like every week we were getting announcements saying, Disney announces that this thing is closing at the studios, and to the point where there's I'm exaggerating slightly, but there's 3 attractions left open at the studios.
Oh.
I'm slightly exaggerating.
Is that where the wizard Mickey hat was?
It was, yes.
Moved,
yeah, they took it down.
I was I remember that. Okay.
Yeah, they took it down.
That made me sad, and I've never been to Walt Disney World.
Yeah. A lot of people have hated the hat for the longest time. It went up for legal reasons because when the ownership of Grauman's, the new owners didn't like the idea of the rep so visible hat to block the view, which made it less the icon of the parks, but so that they wouldn't have to necessarily tear it down completely. I guess something has changed with they've come to a new agreement with the people that own Grauman's or something, I don't know. So that they were able to take the hat down. They can't legally. But apparently, yeah, there's so much is closed, and we knew that this. Oh, I'm starting videos. Stop talking. Sorry, trying to keep my notes here together. So the studios is one of my absolute favorite. It's my favorite park at Walt Disney World in Florida, and to keep seeing this stuff get closed, most of it was stuff I didn't really care about anyway, but to get to the point where it's yeah, there's not really a reason to go to this park right now, except for 2 attractions that are really awesome, but not necessarily worth the price of admission just for these 2 things. I was now we're going to go Disneyland instead of Disney World this year. Just some pains, and we'll come back and it'll be all shiny and new. Anyway, so the studios, they've been closing all this stuff. They're large tracts of land, so obviously big stuff was coming. Now we know what it is. The smaller of the 2 big things, if you can call it that, is going to be Toy Story Land, which is going to be 11 acres. But right now there is Mania, which is the Pixar attraction there. And if you come into the park, go down the main street to where the hat used to be, hang a right, go down the steps, hang a left, and go down a ways a bit. You'll see Toy Story Midway Mania. Across the walkway is a meet and greet for the Woody and Buzz. And then past that was an empty sound stage that they would use for whatever. I think they'd done tapings or episodes of America's Funniest Home Videos there. And then beyond that was the Backlot Tour, which the Backlot Tour has been pretty sad for a while since it's no longer a working studio. So they closed the Backlot Tour last year, which is a large area. So it makes perfect sense. You can go. There's Toy Story Mania. It's already kind of Pixar themed. You can just extend it and go your way back. So it's going to be known as Toy Story Land. And aside from Toy Story Midway Mania, which is going to get a third track, it's add a third, which really I don't think will shorten the lines and really long lines all year round. Because it's a real family-friendly attraction. You just sit and you get a little game. It's a spring-loaded thing. You wear 3D glasses, you look at the screen, and you pull on the thing, and you play. There's a ring toss and a balloon popping game and all. It's really fun. But on top of Toy Story Mania getting its third to be a Slinky Dog themed coaster. So essentially you get to ride on Slinky Dog on a roller coaster. And then the other one, which I think is really exciting, is going to be a Alien Saucers attraction themed to the little green aliens. And you'll spin on your own flying saucer with the claw looming over you.
Nice.
Which I'm all like, the claw! I just want to go, ooh.
God chooses who will go and who will stay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So that's the smaller of the two announcements. The other one...
This one is the smaller one.
Well, Toy Story Land. Because also coming to the studios and to Disneyland is going. Toy Story Land was 11 acres. This is going to be 14 acres.
Wow.
Disney's worst kept secret. We have known this is coming for like a year.
But to have the official announcement,
I know, I'm so excited. Which apparently this wasn't announced during the Parks and Resorts presentation. They actually tacked this on to the end of the live act episode 7. So I missed it at first. And I didn't realize it until I saw it on Land. I'm like, we actually got the announcement of Star Wars. It's going to include the Mos Eisley Cantina. Hello, I want some blue milk. A Millennium Falcon ride. And some other sort of attraction, which will include a battle between the First Order and the Resistance, among other things. And the concept art that they have posted, that is out there, it looks so cool. I'm not even that big of a Star Wars fan, but this looks so freaking awesome. I'm so excited for this. Chauncey was all like, finally got online and was able to read everything we missed. He's like, I should send you guys feedback, and all it says is, Dear Five-ish Fangirls, here's my response to the Star Wars announcement. And he wanted to send a clip of Homer Simpson going, woohoo!
Chauncey, I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
And it's been 10 years since I've been to Disney anything.
Yeah.
I want Star Wars Park, yes. I want it, and I want it now.
Yeah. So, it's this. I would expect we're probably looking at 3, 4, 5 years down the line, maybe. As large as this is going to be and Toy Story Land's going to be, this is probably going to be in phases. Otherwise, completely until you're done with construction at this point, or something. But yeah, it broke the internet. Really, all my Facebook feed was nothing but Star Wars Land, Star Wars Land, Star Wars Land.
Yep, that's all I saw, and I was like, "Yep, D23.
Yeah,
There we are.
Yeah,
that's all you need to know."
Yeah, it was a combination of Star Wars Land and a lot of exclamation points, and Star Wars Land. Take that, Harry Potter.
No. This is what you do. You go to Disney World, then you go to Universal, and it's like, I have everything I need right here.
Yeah.
All I need is a Doctor Who experience somewhere in Florida.
Pretty much.
That's all. That's all.
Really, at this point, anything else that Disney announces tomorrow is going to be like, Star Wars Land.
It's table scraps at this point.
Really?
Although Sunday's usually the lighter days for these things anyway. So,
yeah.
You know.
Yeah. They did throw in a few more things there in the interim. While Star Wars Land is being constructed, they are going to be putting more Star Wars presence in the studios and at Disneyland.
Right. They're
going to update Star Tours and include, because right now Star Tours is it's a simulator, and so that you go to 2 locations within the Star Wars universe, completely random on which 2 you get. There's upwards of like now, and but they're gonna add a location from completely new to people that are familiar with Star Wars. They're going to be adding Star Wars themed fireworks to the studios, which the studios gets. They have Fantasmic, but it doesn't run every night on when Fantasmic's not going on. They will also be adding the Star Wars launch bay, which is really merchandise, I think. But we'll also include props.
Well, you need that too.
Yeah, there'll also be props on display, which will be kind of cool. And then there are also Season of the Force, which is Disneyland's version of Star Wars Weekends, which will begin early next year. And they are going to retheme Space Mountain at Disneyland it's now going to be known as Hyperspace Mountain. At least during their version of Disneyland does that already during Halloween. They retheme their version of Space Mountain to Ghost Galaxy. So it's
like the Nightmare Before Christmas characters for Halloween and Christmas. And
it's not that unheard of. For stuff like that, but yeah, Star Wars Land. That's all you really need to know. Star Wars Land.
Yes, that's everything you need.
Really it.
Star Wars Land.
That's all you need to say, and everyone can.
So I would expect probably, maybe later this year we'll get some sort of construction time frame for all of this. Maybe not. It may not be till early next year, whenever the next probably shareholders meeting would be my guess. It looks like at this point the studios is not getting a new name, which is something that Bob Iger kind of let slip at the last shareholders meeting. That the studios was going to get a new name, but right now they're still referring it to Disney's Hollywood Studios and all this press stuff. So, if and when that name change happens, we'll wait and see. But for pretty much everything we've talked and we haven't. We'll link as much as we can in the show notes, but I know we're gonna miss stuff.
I mean, this really is like Comic-Con. I mean, there is no way you can catch everything that goes on at D23.
No,
we got the highlights.
Oh yeah,
the stuff that we cared about, and that kind of thing. So yeah, definitely if you're interested in whatever, in certain things at D23 and we missed something, you want us to mention it, send it in feedback or, seek it out, because everything gets talked about in some way, shape, or form on all these things. So yeah, just, point it out to us or wherever, tweet it to us. And you know all the venues. Go to our website, the fiveishfangirlspodcast.blogspot.com, and if we get feedback from you, we'll talk about it.
Exactly.
So,
but I
love that Disney has their own convention thing like this. This is just so cool.
Yeah. So, and once it's over, we have to wait 2 years because it's biannually. So. The next one will not be until 2017. Which hopefully by the time the next one comes around, Pandora should be open or really close to being open, and we'll know more about this other stuff, and we'll probably have more art and whatever movies are due out at that time, wherever we are in the MCU, we'll get footage and stuff. So just stay tuned to the internets for concept art and trailers and videos and stuff.
And we'll bring some of that stuff to you on our Facebook page and on the podcast and wherever else that we post stuff.
Yeah. So, but I shall now sleep happy because we'd left to go to church, and I knew that the Parks and Resorts panel was going to be starting the same time that the church service started, and we were walking to the car to drive to our church, and I looked at Sean and I said, I really hope I've not gotten my hopes set too high for this. And I walk away disappointed, and thankfully Disney did not disappoint with these announcements. It's everything I wanted and then some.
Yeah.
But now,
I've had that feeling before that I'm excited for something like, what if I'm setting my hopes up too high and that kind of thing. And totally understandable. But it's Disney. You don't do anything halfway.
Yeah. So, break that ground, start building. I want to see this stuff happen.
I want to ride the Millennium Falcon.
I know, me too.
That's all I want, or whatever it's going to be.
I'm going to ride the Millennium Falcon and then go get myself some blue milk from the Mos Eisley canteen.
Yes. And be careful, don't get your arm sliced off when you're there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Better hope no one likes the way you look.
So basically, today I was feeling very lethargic and didn't want to do anything, and now that's all gone. So, yay D23, got my excitement back up.
Yay! Alrighty then. So, after all of that, anyone have anything else to add?
Nope. Like I said, find all our contact info at the fiveishfangirlspodcast.blogspot.com, and we're on Facebook and Twitter and Tumblr and Pinterest and Instagram and on iTunes. You're probably listening to us on iTunes. Leave us a review, and if you can, we appreciate it. Support us on Patreon so we can continue to bring all the things so enjoy. And hope you all are having a good summer. And all these things. All these things are. I don't know about the rest of you all, but
That I am.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you for joining us, friends and everybody, on this glorious journey of Disney goodness and everything else that we've been squeeing about.
Yeah.
I kind of missed it last week. I mean, I had plenty of other things going on, but because we had to take a week off. But there was a little part of me that's like, oh, I miss podcasting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're back.
So.
We told you we would be, and we are. So.
Hey guys, we're back. We promised we would be.
Yeah.
And if you know which movie that's from, I love you.
Alrighty.
Anyway.
Well, with that, I guess we will sign off for this week.
This is Brittany and Dodo saying goodnight.
This is Chrissy saying goodnight from Salt Lake City.
This is Holly from Wisconsin. Good evening.
This is Mitch saying goodnight from Kitchener, Ontario.
And this is Rachel in Indianapolis, Indiana. I wonder with Star Wars Land if I'll be able to go to Tashi Station and pick up some power converters.
Oh, they need that. They need Tashi Station.
You have been listening to the Five-ish Fangirls podcast. Any and all movies, books, games, and other forms of media mentioned are owned and operated by the respective copyright holders. No copyright infringement is intended or implied.